Hello, in this Pro Videos Fast tip, I want to help you to be more decisive when you're making your videos. Because if you can be decisive, working from scene to scene to scene, you'll be able to get your videos done much faster. And there's some basic principles that you can employ that help you to do that. Before we go into that, it's a little ironic that we're talking about being decisive when we just changed our name. We were a little indecisive in that regard. We are Easy Video Templates now instead of Ready Go Video Templates. I apologize for any confusion. We're trying to go back and fix any reference to Ready Go Video as soon as we can. But in the meantime, you can grab the templates that are in this free pack here. These are the four templates that are included with this free pack, and I'll come back to them because there's an interesting point that I can make with them. But let's go on to being decisive. So here's a few basic principles that really helps to get your videos done fast. And one of them is to stick with a style. So in your video, you want to, whenever possible, stick with one style. In this case, it's photorealistic. I have just, photos, images, and so I'm not going to be doing 2D or cartoon in this one. And that helps to constrain where I go to get my resources to get the video. And that makes it faster. It makes it, I'm not even thinking I'm going to go over and get a 2D cartoon character or something like that. I'm automatically thinking along these lines. Now, another thing that really helps is to stick with one or two fonts at most, because the fonts help to tie things together from scene to scene also. And it also means that I'm just not, hunting for different fonts. And if I come back to work on this later, I don't have to worry about having 10 different fonts that I might have lost track of or something like that. One font, two fonts. I really like to have just one font myself. Those really help. And then after that, it's really pattern interrupt. The principle of pattern interrupt really is that I'm starting with something, and the next scene I want it to be different, but it's still I've got the photorealistic style, and I've got the font that's tying it together, so it feels reasonably cohesive. And after that, I'm wanting to not have any kind of patterns of we have a female here, so now I'm gonna have a male. If I've got a close-up of a face here, I want, this is hands, and so it's different. I'm a different perspective. I basically utilize that as I move on. When I was working on this scene, I basically said, I want anything but this. I need, it could be a female on the opposite side or something like that, but I actually had a couple of people, here and here. So I liked the idea of the perspective being, hands instead. What you don't want to do is have something like this and this, throughout the entire video. That will create a pattern and it gets boring. You want to just mix it up and shift perspective. And there's a couple other things beyond that I like to do. If I ever feel like I'm getting stuck, I want to use a blank. And that's basically, I'm still using photorealistic here, but it's kind of a blank here. In this particular thing, though, I used the kind of typing animation to go with the typewriter. And that it's kind of clever, and it's kind of like a pop-up, I use a pop-up principle, pop-up books, how it's just a little different and has that little device that keeps people interested. I also try to use humor whenever possible, just a little bit. Like in this particular one here, I had this picture of this gun, and it's kind of, and then it turns out to be one of those kind of, gimmick guns, right? So whenever possible, I like to do that. There's another scene in this one, I think, where I created a pattern where I was like, are you tired of this? Are you tired of that? Are you tired of, but it was a joke, tired of getting your hands dirty. We'll just do that in. Humor helps to keep interest because I'm engaging different parts of the brain. So this is clever. This is human content. This is a metaphor, a couple of metaphors over here. So I'm mixing all those elements in. And so as I'm moving along, if I've used one of those elements or a person or whatever, then I try to use something else. And that creates visual interest and gets more people to watch all the way through the video. And again, it makes your job easier because you can be more decisive. You can go, okay, I've used this perspective. Let me shift it. The video's been a little dry. Let me use some humor. And things like that. That really helps you to get your videos done fast. And I want to just point that out because here I put in a couple of templates that have a slight bit of humor. This one is an axe. It says, hopefully you won't have to ask me what to do with this template, just obviously just silly humor, but just a little bit like that. You engage with their humanity smiling people, it just makes people feel good. You want to land in your videos with something that's positive and makes you feel good. In this particular video example, I knew I had this template with a kind of a flower. It's uplifting, positive. A lot of times people would say at this point of a video, you want to encourage them to take action. But that a positive feeling can be what they, basically like, oh, I want more of that positive feeling, so I'm going to take action. That's like a non-aggressive way of implementing taking action. These are all just little principles that I think they help me. And so I hope they help you as well to get your videos done a lot faster.